Welcome to an Espresso with Vinny. So breaking news is that supposedly the two most dangerous breeds in the United States of America, killing the most people, the Pit Bull and Rottweiler. So I'm going to talk about recent dog attacks. By the way, there's 4.5 million dog attacks in the United States every year. Must be kind of parallel to the fact that we also have the world's largest prison system because our psychology sucks. I think we coddle our people too much. And our dogs. So I'm going to go into that. Let's get into the reason why we have attacks. Let's learn something today. So I'm going to go through some case studies. All right, so April 12, 2025, a family with 3 pit bulls and an infant. Infant always was sleeping with the pit bull, one of them in particular. And as we know, they call it the nanny dog, and it's cute and wonderful, and it never had a previous repetition going back 100 years ago. But let's get to today. Why today? Why are these pit bulls and Rottweilers killing the most people in America? Number one dog requires a lot of discipline, a lot of structure. And yes, animals can get jealous. It's right, like running a daycare, like with little kids. You must control the jealousy levels. It's probably one of the most common reasons I see dog attacks, out of jealousy, believe it or not. Not just lack of training and telling a dog sit down, stay, and respecting you, but purely jealousy. So that's a whole other behavioral science versus just obedience. So second thing is, you own 2 dogs, they can compete with one another. You own 3 dogs, think of it like a triangle. So you've got this, you got one at the top, and you got another one over here that's getting affection, and then there's one over here, the third, that always feels left out. And then it rotates. There's another 2 here that are now getting all the attention, and the other one now is jealous of those 2. So it's a constant battle. Be very careful about owning multiple dogs. That means you have to have more time, more discipline, more respect, and more time testing the jealousy levels, and get someone who understands the behavioral science of this, how to test the jealousy levels so that you maintain safe animals. And by no means should your child be just simply sleeping with a dog that if you snap your fingers and say, off, go over there, go to your bed, go to your place. If that dog hesitates, that dog doesn't respect you. And without that respect, guess what happens when they feel like being jealous and they feel like getting angry and they don't really understand what their teeth will do? You've got a dead kid. Okay, that's one study. Alabaster, Alabama, another child was killed. So what happened was, mommy had a doctor's appointment supposedly, and she was taking grandma off to go see the doctor. Going to be gone about 20 minutes, and she dropped the child off with a relative family member that supposedly was epileptic. Now, number one, dogs are going to respond, as we all know. We train dogs to be responding to epilepsy and seizures. Now, if they sense someone can have brain waves that are off and not stabilized, even if they're not in an epileptic attack, that can make a dog get very nervous, like if they're not used to living around it and it's not a service animal for that person. If it's kind of a first encounter for them to be left alone without their owner where they feel secure. Remember, leaving your dog with someone else is extremely dangerous unless that dog has been a participating handler, not known family member. I hear that garbage all the time. Doesn't matter if your sister sees the dog all the time. My sister sees my dogs all the time. No way in hell would I leave her alone with my pit bull. Not because she's going to get attacked. The dog's not going to respect her. And I don't like that idea. Okay? He's very well trained, but I don't want that situation to ever take place. So what I suggest you do is don't leave your dogs with another person that is not an actual handler that can snap their fingers again and say, off, down, quiet, not another word, go to your place. If they hesitate to do it, you need to get this crossover logic. They hesitate, that means they'll hesitate when they're biting. That means you'll never tell them to come off when the adrenaline's pumping, okay? Plenty of instances I've had, Vinny, where dogs have come up to attack him, and he snapped at them and put them in their place, and I told him off, and he got them off, okay? He just released. But that's because I consistently train him just like a police dog, bite, release, and I know what I'm doing. That's at my level. Remember, crossover logic, you have to understand that if the dog doesn't pay attention to you when you say off, the time it's actually in a bite and adrenaline's released, it's never going to stop. Dogs have attacked Vinny before. I've had multiple dogs attack Vinny, and he'll defend himself. Once the dogs start to back up, I tell him off. He's full-blown in attack mode and survival mode. He releases and comes back to me. That's only because I train him like a police dog, military dog, to release when I say it. That's consistency. You're not going to get that out of the average household. So know your limitations, when to just avoid them. Get the hell out of there with your animal. Okay? So The infant supposedly was sleeping on this person who was epileptic on their chest. Why they left him with an epileptic person, I don't know. But supposedly that person didn't follow instructions, was told never to fall asleep. Now, some of those meds to calm your nerves down might have made the person sleepy. I'm guessing this isn't anything I read. Who knows? They fell asleep. The baby slipped off the person's body, landed on the floor onto the pit bull, got mauled, killed. Okay? Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. It was not intentional, very innocent, but at the same time, you can't trust people with your kids that easily around dogs. Dogs require somebody who knows how to handle them. Working breeds are really dangerous if you don't have them highly trained. But so can be little dogs. You get a little Frenchie, you can get a little Chihuahua that can put a hole in someone's eye and a hole in their cheek and a lip. Okay, enough said. Next case. Okay, Dayland, Florida, 2025. Boy is riding his bicycle, is with another buddy. Two dogs are out on the street roaming, and the little kid's 8 years old. He's like, oh, cute dog, starts to pet the dog, gets attacked, and the mother comes out. The dog's killing her kid. She's jumping on the kid, trying to protect it. She's not capable of protecting it, and the kid dies. Okay? Supposedly neighbors said that this dog before, the two dogs had been found roaming the neighborhood before, so this is again incompetence. People who won't invest in their fencing, they don't have double gates for the side yards and for the front yard, the front door. You always have to have double gates if you don't have highly trained dogs, because people make mistakes. They forget to close the latch. The dog bumps it, the gate opens, and they're down the street. Tragedies happen. Okay, always invest in double gates. If you don't have the money, don't do it. Okay, it's like if you don't have money for your food to feed your dog, don't do it. Unfortunately, now the kid's dead. All right, next case. And by the way, you must understand that if you're going to have two dogs roaming the streets, and this has happened multiple times, those are incompetent owners, and they don't belong with working breeds. Okay, that's called gross negligence. You need to train your dog, people. Stop telling me you get a dog and you can train it yourself. You're not good at training it yourself. That's why we have 4.5 million dog bites a year in the United States. And the death toll is rising, not going down. Okay, Covina, California. Gated community, residents supposedly had moved in recently in the past 6 months. They had a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old Rottweiler playing in the backyard. The 5-year-old girl was raised with these Rottweilers, and so parents just assumed, look, they raised with them, they adore them, they protect them, whatever they thought. Again, neighbors said they never even knew they had these dogs. They even had 2 more dogs in the house. It was in the backyard, a large backyard. It wasn't even a small space where the dogs could get defensive over things. And the neighbors said they never even knew about the dogs, which tells you neglect. Okay, those are 2 people working all the time. If they're not, they just threw the dogs in the backyard. They're not taking them out, running them, working them, having trainers come by that work with them. So what happened is the 2 dogs mauled the 5-year-old girl, completely finished her off. So there's another example. You tell your dogs, off my child, don't even look at my child, move out of the way. When my daughters were little and I had big dogs, I would tell those big dogs, my kid comes in the room, you move out of the way. You understand the curb command, you curb the area. My kids started walking toward the dogs yielded automatically through repetition of me training them. They knew to go to the other side of the area, to the other side of the wall. That's what you want. You want dogs that truly understand, stay out of the space. It wasn't until I said it's okay for my child to come up and pet their nose, and the dogs damn well knew that I was the boss, and they were no way going to do anything stupid. Okay, so this is where we're seeing neglect again. People don't train their dog. You're going to get a dog, train the dog. Stop telling me you know what you're doing. You trained your previous dogs. You were raised with dogs. Yeah, your dad probably raised your dog, and it was in a generation when your dad had balls and there was masculinity, and the dog feared getting its butt kicked. And so therefore it behaved, right? Next. So this case really grabbed my interest because I had trained an XL bully. And this was a case where there was 3 XL bullies, 3 of them in San Diego, California. They attacked and killed the owner walking in a park. So let's look at some things that are factual that I know, because I wasn't there. He had all 3 off leash, so he thought obviously they were trained. He assumed they're trained, it was cool, he could just go free. He's walking near a child's playground with 3 XL bullies 135 pounds a piece, I'm sure. That they average this with children present. So how do you control a child running up to your dog and you don't have a leash on him? And if 3 attack the little kid or 2 kids, they're done. They'll bleed out. Anaphylactic shock, guaranteed. Never going to survive this attack. Okay? Thank God that part didn't happen. But what did happen is the 3 dogs, as the man was walking, I believe, with his own child, turned on him, got an attitude. Now, if you're really strong, jack, huge muscles, you may be able to walk 1, maybe 2. But you're not going to ever walk 3 like that and have control. That's with leashes. He had no leash. So he really set himself up for the death sentence. The 3 dogs took him on, mauled him, killed him. The police came while it was still present and attacking. People were taking bats. I heard even a golf club, which is not going to affect them. Their heads are so hard, I could knock them on the head, knock myself on the head with a metal pipe. They don't give a damn. I don't care. They don't care. It's not going to stop with all that adrenaline, that thick skull. So you've got a big problem when you can't stop that animal. And now the guy's dead. Now, was it again because 3 dogs play jealousy rotation? I'm guessing probably. And the fact that they get a pack psychology, far different than if you have 1 with a human owner, 2 with a human owner. I always say 2 are friends, 3 is politics. Yes, animal world has politics. They definitely do. Different levels to degrees. And now that man's dead because of it. So there's a lot of obvious that he didn't know. Come on. There's a lot obvious that happened where the man just assumed they were trained and put other children in jeopardy, put himself in jeopardy. If he had leashes, maybe he would have been able to be wrapping them around their necks and swaying them. People could have come to pull them off. Okay, but they couldn't. Too late, and he's dead. So here's where I'm at. So recently I was in Panama City, Panama Canal, okay, not Florida, for those of you who suck at geography. Anyhow, I was down there and I was talking to a lady and she says to me, we don't have a lot of pit bull attacks down here. We simply don't breed pit bulls that are attacking. So they don't have like the gang violence, number 1, okay? Then there's other theories I have. Like we go back in the history, like the days of the Little Rascals and pit bulls and everyone. They didn't have these attacks. Of course, we didn't have a prison system. I always compare human and children as well. We didn't have a prison system like we have today, not just because of the population, but per capita crime. What's different about today? Why is Panama not having the problems of the pit bulls? Because they're not breeding them, she told me. That's one reason we could think of. I think also the other reason is we don't have any machos in the United States. It's dead. You ladies didn't like it. It was toxic. You need to learn how to cry and express yourself. So you no longer have a dad that lives at home with the kids. So especially if you have little boys, God help you ladies, because now the kid's going to get up and say something to you don't like, and he doesn't fear you because you were told, no, he can't fear me. It'll shut him down. Something about our large prison system I'm going back to. Something about not living in a healthy fear, where when dads used to put healthy fear into the children, said, you respect me and your mother, shut up, and your school teacher when you get there tomorrow. Understood? And a conversation. I don't need to know your opinion. You're 7 or 8 years old. I don't need it. That was considered normal. Now it's cruelty. So empathy and tolerance taken to a level that we now have the mentally sane, the wimpy fairies, making intelligent masculine men feel guilty and feel like they have to just be stupid and silent in a household is what brought us to this. I can guarantee you it is. I don't care if it's your altering your genetics or your hormones with your mRNA stupid ass vax, or with your junk artificial food, or with your society norms that you've made normal that men, can't be men anymore. Whatever the hell it is, I blame both genders in this part. You now have men, and I see it, believe me, in my profession, I can tell you, most of the aggressive dogs I come meet, the man is a total freaking fairy, and the wife's rolling her eyes, wishing the guy would just fucking become a man. And I'm telling you, it's breaking up households. They're never respected. He ain't getting any action. Trust me. Stop it. I don't want to hear about it that you got a nice big protection dog and you're a fairy man. I go to your house and you're a fairy man. I'm just going to tell you honestly. Can't be done. Cannot. You can't replace that. Men have a place in society. When you are strong and you're aggressive, you listen to me. That dog respects men. I've seen women try to be Zaina the warrior, and you respect me, dog. And they respect to a point, but nothing like when the man steps up and says, don't do it. So here's my brutal honesty. You can disagree with me. You can hate me. I love it because I know I'm right anyway, because this is all I do, guys. I don't do a painting company on the side. I don't repair computers. I do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, done it for decades. So yeah, I've got some experience over your heads. So tuck your little egos in, whoever wants to disagree with this, and accept the fact we've got some problems. And start manning up, man, or don't call a dog trainer. Got it? All right. Vinny knows. There you go, babe. Cheers till next time. Namaste after I got all worked up. After some classical music and over sunset, right? Okay, everybody. Till next time. Ciao.